looks terrible. But have you been down Woolden Drive lately? Might as well think it was on my tractor drive, down there with all the pumps.
Someone may have asked this already, but I'm newer to coming, and I wanted to know, the old board, from what I understood everybody to say, never put money aside for the roads?
That's why we're $160,000 in the hole on tree service, part of it.
And why did they not do that?
What, you'd have to ask them. I don't know what to tell you about that.
Huh,
Yeah, I mean, there's 300,000 in tree service out there if you wanna get the whole thing done right in the town right now. That's if you just have them every day, just start working.
it's just a curious question, why they never thought of it.
No, but Ed Miller had a 5-year road plan, but nobody, and the old chairman, I saw it in writing, they said they were gonna abide by the 5-year plan, but they never abide by their 5-year plan. So,
Okay.
we're trying to do something with 5-year plan, heck, we're trying to do.
So that's kind of where we sit, is 100, I did adjust, clerk salary. Michelle had looked into the contract and it was a static number for 3 years, so
Right.
changes at the, whatever, 1700-1800 bucks. So, 120,971 is the
If-
proverbial ditch at the moment.
So if he's right on the estimate what the levy is, we need an extra 120,000.
Or we figure out where to cut.
What if you cut Park and Rec in half? Granted, it's not much, but it's something. Park and Rec.
Also, the library is funded by the county, if I'm not mistaken, highly funded by the county.
Library is,
Oh, you're on the board over there.
I'm starting to think.
there's a different mill rate, you want the nerdy version? There's a different mill rate for towns than there is for villages, or, well, there's a different mill rate for communities who have a library operating within their municipal boundary. The county collects more taxes per se for the libraries in the county for communities who don't have than those who do, because those who do have technically fund from inside their own walls more so than what the county assistance would ever allow them to. So there's a difference in the mill rate. We technically are paying via our county mill rate to the county, who then provides library aid to the libraries in the county. And then we, as a town, historically have also contributed additional local taxpayer dollars to fund the library in the village, in our town. So this breakdown, I believe, is $2,000. I believe it's $2,000 now. Maybe they only get 300. The library might get
Where's that
$3,000.
at? What, oh, there it is.
I'd have to look back at what it is. The band donation and the American Legion is very, I think that's the $300. The Legion gets 100 and the band gets 2. And the library, I think, gets 3 of that.
Say those again, please.
Don't quote me, because I don't have it in front,
Okay.
but I think it's the library gets 3, the American Legion gets 100, and the band gets 200, or it's the Legion gets 200 and the band gets 100, it's something like that.
Okay.
So that's 3,300.
Correct, between the 3 of them, but I think the library amount is the $3,000 out of that.
I think I did see that.
Park and Rec Department, yeah, I mean, there's no county tax, that's not the same, that's just a village department that, they don't get like county funding out of our mill rate or anything. that's, I mean, as long as I can remember 20 years ago, the conversation was always, if we don't have contribution from the town, the village would charge village residents one rate and town residents a higher rate to make up for the difference of the program. Whether there's any validity to that anymore.
I remember last year, we were told that more township people use their facility than the village people. I remember that last year.
So, and quite honestly, I have no idea where the village is at with their budget process, or if Stephanie has a draft. That admittedly has also been a contentious thing, and I think 2 years ago, the board opted originally to not include the 5,000 for the park and rec because they had never gotten a copy of the park and rec budget to even say where's our money going. But then I believe Stephanie came in and either gave them a copy of her departmental budget or made a presentation to them. I don't recall which it was. And then they call it back, calculated or did a budget adjustment to include it.
So instead of cutting it in half, maybe we could just start nitpicking and taking a little from other places also, let's say instead of in half.
We're just throwing some things
Oh.
out there, you know, don't get too worried.
No, I'm not worried, I'm talking about park and rec.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I have a question about the emergency management line item. I'm guessing that number came out from, was extracted from a different number elsewhere?
What that was, is the $5,006 you're looking at?
I'm looking at proposed 25,000 after a historic 5,000.
So we did create that account this time last year and allocated, it had been included, before the town had the highway, if you look at like 2022 for highway and street maintenance was 289,000, and then there's those dashes in the 3 lines below, skip a
Oh,
couple.
ice snow mowing, I wondered about those.
So-
Okay, so that's what that is.
So we created the easy way to explain it is the accounts that have the dashes in 22 and 23, we created last year to break those expenses out and track them. The emergency management part of it, what we did during the budget last year to come up with this $5,006 is we took the budget amount from 2023 that had been approved, and we looked at where our expenses had come in as a percentage of that overall amount. And coincidentally, we had one tornado on Little Prairie Road in February of 23 that cost us like $4,800 to do tree cleanup. So we used that as kind of a round figure because of the amount of, sorry.
It's not a new expense, it's merely a way of parsing out the items under highway and street maintenance for the town.
To a point,
Formally,
yes, to a
Okay.
point, the
Got it.
amount that is being funded in tree service or proposed to be funded in tree service and emergency management are obviously much higher than they were this last year or in 2024. The tree service piece, the budget to actual expenditures is also dramatically different. That's why there was the request for 50 grand rather than 24. The emergency management item we talked about, so that hopefully in years going beyond our tenure is that if we fund 25 grand and allocate it, that if we do have hopefully not $160,000 tornado expense, but you've got a built-in designated fund for it. If we use 0 of that $25,000 in 2025, the 2026 budget would reflect a 0 request. If we used 3 grand, the 26 budget would say we need 3 grand essentially to replenish and keep 25 grand designated funding for, like last year, this year, we had a ton of tree cleanup, but we also had things like when Island Road was closed because it was flooded, and there was costs related to that, and cleaning out culverts and such on South Shore Drive, whatever direction, south of the boat launch. we had a section of road that washed out there during a rainstorm, so it would be stuff, items like that, that funding would be designated in a category, but not specific, like, we're gonna